Yo, um, I turned the camera around this time, so it's the back camera, so it looks a little better. But like, I can only see it through a mirror, through a bunch of obstacles. So like, I'm afraid it's gonna stop recording midway through, and I'm not actually gonna notice. But you know, whatever. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to Dilly Dally. Working title. Uh, for whatever this is at the moment. At the very least, this is a practice, an experiment in, excuse me, I haven't quite warmed up yet, the ability to orate uninterrupted without making a complete fool. And there's trial and error. There will be falls, but I'll get up. I aim to never have to cut anything from this. And so, yeah, at the very least, I'm not really like advertising this all that much. So, excuse me. Very rude of me to speak with something in my mouth. I'm not going to be like pushing this on my personals because it is a little bit more personal, and in this weird time that we live, it seems easier to reveal bits about your personal life to strangers than it does to your own friends and family. Anyone else feel that? There's something quite interesting, like generally speaking, about what social media has become. Maybe not what it was started as a way to reconnect with friends and family or stay connected across territories and such. No, but like in the modern age where social media has become a career aspiration, it's become a means of revenue, and you know you can make quite a bit of money off of it if you do it correctly. So it's a mix between the desire to be seen, the desire to be acknowledged in this world where we have, again, it's so open ended because of the internet, because the way that information travels. We are all now tiny fish in this massive, massive ocean. So social media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and the rest, they're kind of like this radio beacon, right? This tower. We are firing off frequencies into this mystery algorithm. I'm sure, yes, some people know how it works, to an extent, but there's a lot of just machine automation behind it, and that's why some things slip through the cracks here and there. And so every time we post on one of these short form content apps, YouTube or long or whatever, YouTube, Insta, TikTok, we're really hoping to be exposed to a new audience, reach more people. Maybe we want to keep it private. Maybe it is just us communicating with our friends. But I think generally, if you go on your For You page, everybody is posting something to be seen by people. Otherwise, they would keep it private. They'd keep their profile private. You know what I mean? So every time we post on here, it is like this beep, 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 blast off into the universe and see what comes back. See what alien contact we make with distant life forms somewhere else in the world who see a little glimpse into our lives. So that's, I don't really know. I hardly remember where I started with it. I just kind of started going on a monologue. If you were here yesterday, you may have seen I did this impulsively. Like I've thought about. I wanted to be a radio host when I was younger. I took a bunch of relevant coursework in college. I kind of had the idea for it. I liked showbiz, but I always struggled with the whole, when do I start? Like what do I talk about? I don't know, what lane do I pick? Do I go political? Do I go pop culture? Do I go talk, whatever, comedy? What is it? And then I feel like once you start it, you have to commit to it. And if you put yourself in this box, then it's like, well, what if I run out of things to talk about in that box? And so I made every excuse in the world not to get started. And I've, you know, experimented in secret, and never really sacked up and posted. But yesterday, I was chilling. I was kind of in a like low mood over the weekend. Just a bunch of life stresses all compounding at one time. I was without sleep. I was recording some cover songs, as I've been just practicing, trying to put together enough where I can actually maybe gig. And I was like, I just kind of want to blab, man. Hey, why don't I do a podcast? What am I going to talk about? Oh, great, we have AI. Hey, AI chatbot that knows me more intimately than most friends and family. Red flag. Give me 5 things to talk about for a podcast. And it just gave me a rough outline, some things not qualified to talk about, but I just kind of made up something on the fly anyway. And it was a little, I listened back to it and I was pretty content with it, to be honest, the overall presentation. I think it could have been a little bit more connected. The topics were all over the place, and that's what you get when you just do this on a whim without any planning or thought. And I'm glad that I did it, because it's something that I've always wanted to do. Who cares if it ever gets seen? At least I can say, hey, I tried it. Said the same thing about songwriting, music a couple years ago. Terrified to ever share this with the world out of fear of failure. And then I realized, what? Who cares? And well received enough to keep going. So here's my radio show, Dilly Dally, as you may know it right now. Still working out some technical kinks. But tonight, generally, I may rely on my assistant there, my chatbot assistant, just to keep things going if I have to. But again, this is just practice, oration, just blabbing, and then I'll play it back, and perhaps I'll see myself through another pair of eyes and gain a better understanding of self. So this time, I'm not using a rough outline. I'm just going to kind of go, because this is what I do. I'm a talker. I will entertain any conversation, even if I don't know what's going on. I will concede defeat if I'm, have nothing to say on a subject or cannot argue it out of lack of information. But I will try to chug along best I can. I try to stay a part of the conversation. Sometimes I just can't be. That is what it is. But where was I going? Okay, I'm gonna jump back into the whole social media thing. Just like what is it? What does it become? It has become this like borderline subconscious, desperate attempt to connect, to get seen. And this is not a new phenomenon, right? The desire to be seen. And I've thought about this for a while, going back to college, when I didn't really understand it, right? I wanted the whole college frat boy party lifestyle because it's what I had seen in the on the TV, right? It was a kind of stereotype, if you will, and so that's what I went chasing. But like when I was really being honest with myself, I realized like this just isn't me. I developed problems with drinking and confidence, self-esteem, and all that comes with substance abuse and insecurity in an environment where you don't necessarily belong. So with this, what I observed, at least from my perspective as the kind of not introverted, I was quite social in the right environment, but in the nightlife environment, right, in the bar scene, in the club scene, I never understood it. I was like an outsider looking in. And what I saw, and this is just my personal observation of behavior, is the reason people go out they go out partying when they could not be out, is they want to be seen. They say, "Oh, I just want to go dancing. I just want to have fun and cut loose." Well, you can very well do that in your bedroom. You can turn the lights down by a strobe light and a loudspeaker, and you can dance. You want to be seen. This is not an indictment. This is not a criticism. I think this is human nature. We have this almost instinctual, hierarchical nature to us, where we want to ascend. We want to ascend the societal ladder. What is it always about? Money, power, status. So, again, this desire to be seen, just going back to like 2000s nightlife and probably down, through the 70s, whatever it is. No, it was different motivations back then. Maybe I'll get there. I don't really know where I'm going with this. But the desire to be seen is in an attempt to climb the social ladder. Maybe you're seen by somebody who is of a higher status, and they see you, and now they pull you up with them. Or maybe you've now become a thought in somebody's mind, right? If we didn't want, or if we were just going for what we say we're going for, I just want to unwind, you wouldn't be in a crowded room with loud music full of people. It's just, or at least this is me. This is my personal view as the person who just never really got it. All right. Maybe it says more about me than it says about society. Who knows? You be the judge. Fight. Make sure you argue in the comments. I'd like to encourage that. No, don't just engage with my content, with my video or audio. Make sure you argue. Get in really long, heated arguments in the comments, and make sure that you willfully don't understand each other and ignore each other's valid points and point out flaws unrelated to what you're arguing. Just good comment etiquette. Make sure we're following that. Anyway, desire to be seen probably goes back forever. I'm not an expert on early 1900s social norms or anything, or really anything beyond that, but it's always been about status. And what is social media? But it is a portal. Your cell phone. It is now this other dimension into viewership. I now have the ability. Excuse me. I have the ability to record a video of myself saying something, anything, something smart, something stupid, something rude, something hateful, something blah, 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 all of it. I can say anything, decent or not, safe for the internet or not. I can post it, and it can be seen by hundreds of people in a matter of moments. More people can see my face in a matter of 30 minutes than probably my great or great great grandparent and anyone beyond, than they had been seen in their entire life, their entire 50, 60, 70, 80 years of being alive. More people have seen me after an impulsive 30-second TikTok video than my great-grandfather had been seen by eyes in his entire lifetime. Is that crazy? So this social media thing has completely just blown the gate wide open. Sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. Like where we are currently as a society, I mean, social media and, platforms like X and Insta and TikTok and whatever, they're kind of vital for the exchange of information when now there's so little trust in the media. But there's only so little trust in the media because there's this free exchange of information. So like it's now been exposed, therefore you need it to keep exposing it. But there was once a point in time where like the news just was the news, and like that was the narrative, and like that was just cool. Nobody argued. They'd get in small beef here and there, but like just it wasn't as open, and everybody just kind of towed the line. We all watched the same things on the television. Even when I was a child, maybe even a young adult, it was it spread further and thinner as I got older. But like you'd go into school or work, American Idol, like that's what you talked about. It wasn't like which one of your crappy low budget custom curated algorithm shows did you watch yesterday while you were scrolling on Instagram. It was like, what did you think about so and so going home? What did you think about Sanjaya going home on American Idol? And it was like, that was it. Then you had Survivor. I still watch Survivor, by the way. Big Survivor fan. This is really just for the Survivor casting. This whole operation is really just an elaborate kind of ruse to get a little bit more eyes on me so I can be on Survivor, because that's really what this has all been for. I just like to make my case on that one to whomsoever is responsible for Survivor casting. Yes, thank you for watching the Dilly Dally podcast, brought to you by Squarespace.com. I'm just kidding. If you want to sponsor me, though, that'd be tight. I had 4 views on my last thing. All people I sent their link. But anyway, work, school, you all watched the same thing. And it was like there was kind of a shared consumption. And you can say that's for the worst. Like it was just, one or a couple companies programmed the masses, and like that was fine. But as soon as like alternative media came out, Netflix came out, it's suddenly like they've lost their grip, and they've infiltrated in different ways. They've, network TV has found their way back into the streaming world through, acquisition. Hulu is just like an extension of all the cable, sans CBS, not the drugstore. But yeah. So as soon as that starts splitting wide open, like these few, the cable news and the cable television, it starts losing its influence on culture. Things start spreading thin. And while that's cool that like there's things that are more suited for all the different diverse interests in the country, in the world, you could argue that like we are spread too thin. We don't have like commonality. What is the common thing? I guess like memes. We still have like mutual interests and stuff, but it's not the same. It's the society has we've split into our subcultures via our internet groups and our algorithms and our curated feeds. We do our thing, but like it seems like there's not as much these days to tether people together. There's, I guess, sports, and there's politics, unfortunately, which is arguably a big reason why politics is more prevalent than it ever has been. Politics became entertainment around 2015. Then ever since, everybody has had their expert opinion. And I'm as guilty as the next of probably saying or repeating something that is untrue or confirms my belief while disregarding something. We're all guilty of it, and if you refuse to admit any guilt of it, you're the worst. Like you're the worst one there is. Who in who in the modern age has not read a headline that has been spun completely out of context by whatever political bias the writer had. They spin something out of context. You see the headline that affirms what I've already been led to believe. I'm going to repeat that verbatim as fact. And that's how, we get the concept fake news. So, how did we get here? Social media, something. We are divided. We are all in our own lane, except for politics, because politics is entertainment. Politics is the one thing that most people, educated or not, have an opinion on, because they all have their feed. And politics in a two-party system, like, you're getting one of the drip feeds, you're getting one of the sides or nothing at all. But even then, people are talking about it out and about. They're talking about it at work, at the grocery store, on the television, on ESPN, on the Disney Channel. Like, you cannot hide from politics. Therefore, everybody has some degree of opinion. Therefore, it is the kind of tiny little bits of tape that hold our mutual understanding of the world together. It is the one thing that we can all join in on a conversation, whether we know anything or not, and act like we are involved. Or so I would observe it. Again, I'm rambling. These are things I believe. These are things I've spoken on before. I'm not just BSing. Some stuff is bridged along the way as I just talk here, as I'm transitioning topics, a segue, if you will. These are like the way my eye just suddenly got really itchy. This is the way I feel about things. I'm not just making it up, but I have no expert opinion on anything. I see, I read, I watch, I observe. I don't read all that much, honestly. I got tired of reading. But I'm relatively in tune with what's going on. I have my algorithms and such. I am more sucked into a certain world than others, but I try to be aware. I don't watch movies hardly ever, and I kind of regret that. I don't watch movies or TV much, and it kind of bums me out. I feel like I'm out of a lot of the conversation, but it just doesn't. It never jumps up on my list of things to do. If I could be doing virtually anything else, I probably will be. And that's not to say I don't like movies. It just doesn't feel like in the hierarchy of importance. It just never jumps out. So I really only watch TV when I'm lying in bed, and I'll watch an actual series maybe once every quarter. But I'm not watching. I'm not binging shows on a regular basis. I don't have time for it. I do have time for it, but I'd rather spend that time doing other things. And then movies, it's just a one and done. It's I don't have 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And I would like to just spend 2 hours just focused on a movie, but what? Bro, I'm not getting any younger, you know what I mean? I prefer them as a social activity, something to experience with somebody else, with other people, persons, something to converse over, Hey, that movie was stimulating to whatever capacity. It was funny. It was thought-provoking. It was mind-blowing. And then you discuss it after. Wow, can you believe that? Wait, I thought that happened. Oh, I didn't see that twist. It gives you something to bond over. And I think watching movies alone is just boring and kind of sad. So I don't do it often, and I'm alone often, when we start crying here. But where I'm getting at, I guess where that tangent began was, I'm out of the loop on movies and TV and that kind of media, but I still am like privy to the references. Like I understand what reference comes from what. Like I have the Wikipedia mapped out in my head. Like if you quote something and it's like known to any degree or it's been cut and reposted somewhere, I probably know what you're talking about. So like I can be kind of part of the conversation, but then I kind of freeze there. Like that's it. That's all I can talk about. But it's really annoying every single time I tell people, hey, have you seen this? No, I haven't. I don't watch much. Oh no, you got to see that, dude. You got to put that on your list, number one. Like, dude, shut up. I'm not gonna watch it. I'll watch it someday. I'll add it to my eternal queue of movies that I'm never going to watch. Because like, if I watched all the movies that have been recommended to me, I wouldn't finish till I was like 300 years old. So, no, the movie you like is not the most important movie in the world. I'm sorry. I'm sure it's good. I'm sure I'd like it. I like every movie I see. I'm not that judgmental, so long as it makes sense and it's not bad. It like inconsistent. I don't know, but I think that wrapped it up on my point about what the hell was it? Oh, I'm privy to culture. But I had a side thought a moment ago, and it keeps jumping ahead. It's trying to jump ahead in the queue. My next kind of rant and rave. Maybe I'll add some laugh tracks and claps and stuff to this in post to really make it feel like a communal thing. We're all in on it, right? We're all having fun here. Huge pet peeve. Insane pet peeve. When people start quoting movies and TV shows, like in conversation, it's bad enough. That's bad enough. But when that becomes one of two things, it becomes a skit and another person joins in and they do a dialogue. You put your nuts on my drum set. Oh, I'll kick your. Like, I wish I had a escape button. Abort, get me the hell out of here. I don't want to be around your movie skit. Spare me. And when people just quote like jokes from movies or jokes from shows, jokes from popular media, and people retell jokes that aren't theirs, just spare me, please. Be original. You can retell a story or something, but like, don't quote a movie and expect me to laugh because it's not funny. Like, okay, cool, great, dude. That's awesome that you know Step Brothers quotes. That's so sick. But like, have you ever had a original thought? I'm being kind of a dick, but you get what I'm saying. I hate when people quote movies. It's so grating. What else, man? I kind of reached a checkpoint here. I'm going to take a quick pause and use the restroom. And a quick word from our sponsors. I'm fat, and I hate tucking in my shirt because my fat belly's always coming out. So I wear Untuck It t-shirt. I'm just kidding. I actually have one of those in my closet. Pretty cool. I'm not sponsored in any capacity. But are you tired of Nick's razor bumps and burn? Try Dollar Shave. I'm kidding. I'll be back. I had a Sunday work event today. Very rare. I have to do that like probably the only Sunday I'll have to work all year, which is nice. I'm grateful for that, and I really don't mind this particular event. And I don't like, how do I say it? I don't actually. I'm not going to name drop or anything. In the event that, for whatever reason, this is of controversy, I don't think anything I say is controversial. Ignorant, perhaps, but I try to keep it pretty inoffensive. I don't like to hurt feelings if I can help it, for no reason, of course, for valid reasons. It's okay. Anyway, we had a work event, and my coworkers know me as someone who's always like doing. I do a lot. Sometimes like a madman. I'm kind of all over the place. I pick up new hobbies all the time. Right. I learned that one last month. New year, new me. You know what I mean? So that wasn't my best. Check the TikTok or something. But they know me as somebody who's always doing dumb things or new things, new ventures, new schemes, and it's not really out of any, um, you know, hustle or anything. I just like to try stuff. I like to experience uh, the things that I'm interested in. I don't know how to say it. I do stuff. So they're never surprised to hear that I'm into something. And so I dropped today. I said, "Hey, yesterday I just impulsively hit record on the mic and the camera. And I said I'm starting a podcast. Chat GBT. Uh, excuse me. I just cracked a club soda. I love sparkling water. So good. So good. Hey GBT, write me a podcast. I know I've done this story too many times. Beating a dead horse. But I told them, some of them, hey, I did a podcast, and they're like, what for a whole half hour and a half? I said, yeah, dude. It was like, you just do it. So I was thinking about that when I stepped away for a second. Uh, is this entertaining to any degree? I, I I can presume so. I listened back to myself last night, and this is like, talk about narcissistic, but I just put it on my phone and laid down, and I was exhausted. I had gotten no sleep the night before, but nevertheless, it lulled me right to sleep. But like not in a boring way, in like a I'm watching something engaging on television kind of way, but I just can't keep my eyes open any longer. And thought, wow, what a beautiful voice this guy has. I'm just kidding. I'm not that bad. I kind of am, but only ironically. And I was like, this is a decent pace. I can point out some things wrong with it. Too many mouth sounds. I got to figure that out. Probably just drink more water. But there's probably a filter. I don't know, breaths and such. I don't know. Maybe the pausing is too, or spacing, pacing might be a little slow at times. I did notice. I say a lot. I don't know where that came from. I'm not from the Midwest. You know, know what I'm saying? Uh, I pick up these things. I guess that's what happens when you converse with yourself. I'm looking because I flipped the camera around today. Yesterday I was looking at the screen. I had the front camera on. Today I flipped it around. So instead of looking at myself, as magnetic as I am to my own eye, I'm looking at the three cameras. I'm being shot in three cameras right now. It's like that's more cameras than that like shot the Wizard of Oz. It's a big budget production. Um, I don't think they're all recording. Hey, side note, Apple, dude, the macro lens is sick. It's awesome, but like, can you just let me decide when I want it on or off? More so on. I want it on, and you keep turning it off. I can change any other setting on there except that one thing. Let me leave it on. And when you go to the forum, they're like, "Oh yeah, just turn that setting where it remember." dude, just give me a switch. That's all I'm asking for. Why do the tech support forums, why do they sidestep when there's a problem that they can't fix? I guess this will probably be my next topic, I guess, because it's something I'm rather passionate about, and I have a really good idea. I'm patenting it um, verbally, but like these companies that just refuse to take accountability. But I want to move in whatever I was talking about before, how great I am at podcasting. I'm figuring out the logistics as I go. If you even call this a podcast or a diary entry, star date March 1st, 9:39 p.m. Sunday. I'm all skewed because I worked Sunday and that never happens. So it feels like I don't know it doesn't feel like a Monday. It feels like a in between day, a non-existent day. So tomorrow's gonna be a confusing. I don't know. All right, want to hear my idea? I can't hear it. I get so annoyed. Everyone I tell that everyone says me too, and I don't think they're for real. But like when I need tech support, I need tech support, right? I know how to troubleshoot. I know how to do everything the low level agent is going to tell me over the phone. And this sounds kind of arrogant, and I suppose, but like, bro, you're reading from the page that comes up when I search the problem. Like, I understand. I have reading comprehension. I can do those steps. I've probably already done them. I have some degree of IT proficiency here. So here's my proposition. There is a licensable program, a pass, a credential you can test into. This is like getting your real estate license or your personal training license. It's a licensable um, credential that you are proficient in tech support to the utmost degree on your own, but sometimes you need a little extra help where it's not available. And by having this credential, there would be a premium IT line that actually can help. And here's why this would work is there would be I heard like a bag, plastic bag. I don't know what it was. I think there's a ghost in here. It sucks. Uh, there would be a barrier to entry. So like no schmuck could get on here who says, "Oh yeah, I know how to do it," and like they don't know anything because everybody's an IT expert until you ask them how to do something and they can't tell you. And I say this as somebody who is a know-it-all, and then sometimes I can't help, and sometimes there's things I can't do. It is, you know, it is that way sometimes. But I am highly confident in my ability to troubleshoot on my own. And I don't know who my audience is for this thing, so who knows if you can relate in any way. But like I've been using computers since I was like computers came out. So just let me skip the line, dude. I don't need to talk to some call center agent in some third world country. Uh, I just need help, and I pay for your product. So just please help me. All right, enough of that. I call dibs on that. So if you do that, you better talk to my lawyer. Um, do you struggle with legal work? LegalZoom.com is the place for all of your contract needs. Um, dang, I got all the sponsors, dude. It's not that hard. I always just play I play the pity card. You just you email them, dude. That's all you do. I'm not kidding. I'm gonna do this soon. People do this with like 10 viewers. you just email these companies, these ones you see everywhere. You just say, "Hey, dude, I'm sorry. Like, I'm just trying to get back on my feet. I'm crippled by medical debt. My back, my back is killing me, and I'm trying to get by. So I'm making podcast content. It's one of the only things I can do that's not such a big strain on my body, and that's why I use Casper mattress because it's has such good back support. Um, I'm just kidding. I think it is kind of easy to get those though, because it's like a view for referral. So I'm gonna go ahead and just set up my promo code link now. So for when I finally get all of these sponsorships situated, you can just use my promo code for all of the ones that I joked about. Just go ahead and use promo code Dilly Dally, exactly as you think. DILLY. And here's a poll for the audience, for the viewers. This is the people's choice. Is it Dilly Dally, Dilly Dallies, or Dilly Dallin? Dilly Dallin, like DALLIN, like I'm dilly dallying, but my last name is Allen, so it'd be like a play on my name. Or is that like too in your face? I've always had this complex with usernames and titles and stuff that like it must be properly formatted, like with my first name or a shortened version of it in my initial and my last name. I hate having numbers in my username, and it sucks because I've like probably stamped myself all over the internet. But whatever. Let he who has not sinned throw the first stone. Let's see your digital footprint. On that, dude, why is the social security number even protected? Why are we still hiding this thing? Or like keeping it like closely guarded? Yeah, okay, keep the asterisk over it when you fill out a form. That's fine, but like the fact that somebody can steal your identity with this number is insane. We haven't come out with a new system. Hey, this could maybe fix the problem with like identifying who's in the country. You just say, okay, here is your new secret number that you are not obligated to give every employer or tax collector or DMV or freaking job application or mortgage. A number that you don't have to give it to everybody. Therefore, you're not going to get breached in some corporate data leak and your identity stolen for a number that you have to give out like friggin' Halloween candy. Why are we using the social security number for any sort of verification for anything these days? This is one of the many things I will address when you vote for me in the next congressional election that I run in. Um, I'll have my interns cut this part so we can use this in a campaign ad in like 2060 something or whenever. Uh, I'll figure it out. That would be pretty cool though, to like run for Congress from your bedroom. Like maybe this would be a good campaign ad right here. I'm actually gonna like clip farm this. Look at me. I'm already using the terms, dude. I'm gonna clip farm this so um maybe it'll go viral and then people will just start rooting. Like they'll get behind me. It's just like this down on his luck guy, kind of middle of the road, whatever. Just dude with a microphone. Um, yeah, we want him to represent us. I am in the some in South Florida. There's a lot of money here, so it's gonna be hard to get him behind me. So we're gonna have to crowdfund. So link in bio to my PayPal, my Bitcoin address. Just whatever. If you want to send me money, just DM me. That's fine. It's for my campaign. But I'll make sure I'll ask Chat GBT if that's legal first. So just if you want to get on the short list to just start throwing me money, it's just let's get in touch. Actually, on my next one, I'll just I'll spill this early, but I thought of this when I went to the bathroom earlier. I'm gonna start the next show by like, hey, congrats if you're watching this, like, and you subscribe today and you save proof of that. Um, you get like a free premium membership when I'm charging $100 a month for the elite pass. All right. So I'm just throwing that out there now as in the offer stands as of today. So if you subscribe today, you are entitled to that. But I'm gonna open the next video with it to try to bait people in. But I may have to do something to like improve watch time. Where am I at with time, by the way? Let's check the old doll. We are at. I hate that, like, I could probably set up a new view for this. It's either measures or it's time. I'm at 52 minutes, damn. With like a couple minute break in between. I'll keep going. Last time I got to 5 topics. I don't really am I at any number of topics? What am I at? Oh, I started at, dude, I don't know what's going on. You tell me. The last one was like 29 minutes. 20. I'm at something. 50. I'm at like 40. Who cares? If you're still here, you're still here. Um, what's next? Today, uh, humble brag inbound. So just, I guess, prepare. I met some lady. So the event that I did at work, I meant to tell more stories about that actually. So I guess I'll jump into that. But wait, am I still going? Yes, 54 minutes recorded. Uh we had this event, and it is a like paint competition, and it involves people coming from all over the country. They set up an easel. They all paint in the park, and then they paint for the next week. They'll be painting all over the county, the 2 counties, and all their work is for sale. And then they get, there's competitions and awards and all that, and it's a really cool thing. I mean, you see how much talent is out there. But so we had today is like the kickoff thing where it's like a big, you know, there's dozens of people painting, and I was walking around doing something, and some lady pulled me over to ask me to help her lift up her easel. It was one of the amateur artists, like not competing on the professional level, but still competing to be judged. And she asked me my name, and I'm Dylan, and I get it all the time. Oh, you named after Bob Dylan? That's usually the default. And I usually say, not really. I just kind of am. I'm Dylan. I don't think there's any particular um, reason for my name, as far as I know. I could be wrong on that, and shame on me if I don't know. But I say no, but I am a singer songwriter. I like to sneak that in where I can. If there's any interest, I like to cast the line. If people bite, they bite. You never know what it could lead. And it's awkward to like push this stuff on people, but at the same time, for people you don't, because how many times have you heard, somebody says, oh, listen to this, I made this, and it totally sucks. And I'm sure there's things that I've showed people, and they think, wow, this just sucks ass, and I'm like, I'm cringing that I have to hear it, and not everything is for everyone, but and there's stuff that I've shared and then listened back a year later and been like, wow, I'm embarrassed I shared that. But I think that's just growth, and I don't think that ever really changes. I'm sure artists today listen to stuff they made 20 years ago and are like, wow, that's humiliating that I did that, but what can you do? So anyway, I put a lot of thought and care into the lyrics that I write. Like I don't just dump it out. Like I don't take the lazy route when it comes to a rhyme, the syllable count, the rhythm. There's some times where I'm like, I just can't get what I need, and I have to accept it. But I settle at nothing short of like a 99% its best potential to deliver the message that I'm trying to convey, the imagery, the metaphor, the rhyme scheme, all of it. And so I'm very obsessive with it, and it's frustrating because I want to do more, but I get stuck, and it's like I can't move on until this thing is perfect. Every single piece has to fall exactly where it was always meant to fall. And so I told this lady, yeah, I'm a singer songwriter, and her eyes lit up. She's all, oh well, wow, that's awesome. And I didn't have my phone on me, so I couldn't share it with her. But I told her like what I write about because she mentioned something, oh, Bob Dylan wrote this song about something devil. Blah. I said, oh, I wrote a song. It's like a combo with the devil. It's my song called The Garden, and I'll always show this to my friends anytime it's relevant in conversation because they're kind of poignant words. And the premise of the song is uh, it's a conversation between the serpent and the man, and it's a back and forth. The serpent is like, I've got you. You can't escape this. Like you can fight it, but you won't. Actually, I'll just recite it. Why not? In the garden, the serpent told me, son, it's too late to stop my stranglehold on everything you love. So fight it if you dare, but you won't because I know you and your soul is overloaded by the burden that you bear. But there's a poison in the well from which we drink, and the soil salted. Boiled frogs don't hop up out the pot, and nor do we. Stop the burning, drop the curtain on the broken and the weak, ill begotten as the rotten fruit that's falling off the tree. Deliver us from the wickedness inside that's been taking over. Break the mold and save us from our pride. It's killing us. But a whisper in the night once said, it's fine, my friend, so go ahead and take another bite. In the garden, when darkness turned to light, hissed the serpent, what's your purpose if you waste away your life? You're bitter, I can tell. It's all your fault the herb was lost while you were wallowing in sorrow at the altar of yourself. But what's a grain of sand to the shore on which it lay but a stone that's been eroded since the moment that it washed upon the bay? I screwed that one up. Boredom, violence, roaring silence from the naked and the blind, ill begotten. Oh, dude, wow, I can't believe I botched that at the last second. But who's to fault when they've been wandering since they parted from the vine? Chorus, chorus, chorus. But a whisper in the night once said, it's fine, my friend. You know that spoiled grapes make spoiled wine. And I look up. I recited that. And I look up, and her lip is quivering, and her eyes are red. And she's like, brought to tears. And she was a very sweet lady. She seemed very, very, very sensitive and receptive. And I'll speak no ill of her. But she was lit up, and she said, "Wow, that's so beautiful," and it was a very special moment. I don't get through to people often. Every now and then, somebody listens and they are impressed. Um, and I'm a sucker for anyone who claims to be impressed, because I put a lot of work into it, and it means a lot when it means something to somebody. I have some messages behind these words, and I you know that's kind of what I do it for. I do it for myself. I express my sentiment through metaphor. Um, if you want to understand my personality, just read or listen to the words in the songs that I've put out thus far, and they're pretty on the nose of exactly who I am. And I think that's a really beautiful way to express things that would otherwise come off as grating and whiny, because I'm sure I do that plenty. I always got something. I am a neurotic individual. I have the negative frame of mind quite often, and I work on that, and I try to escape it. Speaking of that, I guess I'll segue into like meditation and such. Hold on. Hopefully that didn't sound like a disgusting gulp. I was supposed to sound like a fresh Coca-Cola on the Dolby speakers in the movie theater, but I'm sure all you heard was ASMR swallowing sound. Well, let's uh let's go into this blind. I guess it'll be whatever it is. But I've had my limited experiences with hypnosis. It really pretty much in psychology class my senior year of high school, and probably some other low level psychology class or something. Or probably on YouTube. I don't know. I had experienced it a few times, and I always thought, wow, everyone around me who's falling for this is an idiot. Like they're suckers. They have no willpower. And that was the way I felt. And I still am skeptical when it comes to like the, you know, squawking like a chicken at the county fair. Like I think that there might be something more sinister going on there. Something that needs to be worked on. Who knows? Maybe it is real. It's magic. But no, I think I used to think that it was nonsense, and I'm in the halfway in. But a few weeks ago, again, I have a tendency to like think about things intermittently. They'll pop into my mind, and then suddenly I will get just the jolt, and it's like, not a voice, but it's just like a surge. Do it. And so I did it. I grabbed my headphones. I searched hypnosis, astral projection. Oh, I kind of went out of order, I guess. I had a borderline astral projection experience, uh, maybe a couple nights before. I'll revisit that. Okay, so I searched astral projection hypnosis because I wanted to experience that again. Actually, yeah, I'm sorry for the detour, but I have to reframe this. A couple nights before that, I was just locking in. I was laying in bed, and I generally I struggle to sleep. It's hard for me to like actually go to bed. Once I'm asleep, I'm good. But I was laying there, and I was like, I'm gonna try to fall asleep on my back. Sometimes I'll like make a game of it. I've always thought back sleepers were crazy, and I just laid there in silence and just locked in and like tried to see color. It's gonna sound crazy. I was trying to see color, like just visualize the color red. Close your eyes and see the color red. And I challenge you to do this. And I don't mean envision it, like picture things that are red. I mean see it. You like you're looking at a paint swatch at the Home Depot. You see the color red. All right, try yellow, whatever. And for whatever reason, I hit purple. And when I hit purple, it was like an explosion. It was like a bright purple light. It wasn't it was pitch black in my room. It wasn't the lights on the ceiling that are only purple, bluish right now. No, it was like a flash of purple, and then like the closest way to describe it is a portal. It was like a window into something else, and it was like a crystal kind of glowy, just different place. And unfortunately, like I was in it, like I was through the veil, and I didn't know what I was doing there. I had stepped into it while still laying there in my bed, but in my head. And then there was like a flash of white, and it was this kind of like fade out, and this sense of panic because the brain is like, oh holy shit, dude, you're dying. That's kind of my impulse. Something freaky happens in bed. I'm like, oh, I'm dying, and so you snap out of it. And I looked it up. I actually like I search because I thought maybe that's astral projection, and I search something along the lines, and I found some synopsis, and it was the exact description of what had happened, and I forget exactly what it was called, but it was really cool. So I was trying to chase that high, if you will. I do have if I feel some sort of new sensation, I will probably try to follow that. I have that uh feature, if you will. Now, good euphemism. So, uh, from there, that's when I was trying to experience new things, and I searched hypnosis, astral projection, and then some hypnotherapy, something or other came up, and it was kind of awkward. It felt like the guy was trying to like hook up with me. He was a British guy, and it was using this like binaural. He's in one ear and out the other, and I didn't really like it, but I tried to submit to it and follow what he was saying, what he was suggesting. And it was like the long countdown, or it was like a climb up some steps or something 10, 9, 8, then down to 1. And you're relaxing. You relax your head, your shoulders, knees, toes, head, shoulders, knees, toes, eyes, ears, mouth, and nose. And then once those are all once those are all relaxed, you you do this long countdown from 10, you control your breathing, and then suddenly I was like, this sucks. I hate this guy. And then it's like two, one, one, one. And I'm like where the hell are my hands? And it felt as if I had like I was holding on to like a Tesla coil. Like I had this like jolt of zzz, not like a painful one, not like an actual electrocution. I just had this like excuse me, pins and needles uh surge through my body. Like I was fusing into the bed, and it felt very relaxed and almost kind of like stimulating in a strange way, but like never truly as quiet in the head and in the body. And it was a really marvelous experience. And so from there, I kind of got really into it, and I think I don't know. Can you build a tolerance to that, like drugs? Maybe, or maybe I just had too much on my mind. Maybe I it is. Of course, it's circumstantial, uh, depending on where you are in life. But for a couple nights, and I haven't done it in a couple days, but I was doing these guided hypnotherapy sessions, and you're in full control the entire time. You can snap out of it whenever you want. But the entire premise is that you relax to the state of like receptiveness, and it's like, okay, I'm finally just like, I'm cool. I'm not tense everywhere. I can like I can breathe without being stressed. And then it's kind of like a, you know, school counselor worksheet. It's like, or depending on what the topic is, quitting smoking, or overcoming anxiety, or work goals, or get rich, whatever it is. And it's like, envision a time where you made a bad decision and what it cost you, and now envision a time where you made a good decision and what. And but while you're in this trance, it creates this kind of like impression on you, where you're more cognizant of it during the day, the following day. It's more designed to just slowly change your thinking over time. So I think the idea is you do the same thing over and over, but I get bored of that, so I was kind of skipping around trying to find, the best one. I should probably jump back into it, but just I was just giving that a plug, because the moral, the grand lesson to take away, if we have to do that, um, to make that story not completely pointless, is don't knock it. No, you can knock it before you try it. That's not really the point. The point is, maybe you're wrong. Maybe sometimes what you thought was true is not true. And I thought any sort of like hypnotherapy, hypnotrance type stuff I thought it was all nonsense. I thought it was all just like for the gullible and for the weak-minded. Or maybe now I'm just gullible and weak-minded. That also could be the case. And if that is the case, then excuse me, you can just ignore everything I just said. I'm just trying to fill time. This is practice, but it's also I don't know. Am I my own best therapist? What do I talk about when there's uh no one? I maybe I do fine in solitary confinement. I don't think I would though, because like the point of this is to blast it out in the sense that maybe somebody will watch it. And if you're still here, that's sick. I don't know what like the optimal practice is for view time length. See how sunburned I am? This happens every time I go into the sun. If you don't know me, I just kind of deal with it. Um, Summer's gonna come back soon, and I'll have more tan by then. I'm not as cautious as I should be with sunscreen, but whatever. I go to the dermatologist. We're good, I guess. What are we at? Let me check the time here. I don't have like an external monitor. Oh, I could have just checked my logic, but what are we at? 1 hour, 13 minutes. Holy smokes! I think I think that's good. I think tomorrow or next time I do this, I'm just gonna make a verbal log of this and hey, make sure you let me know in the comments and don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe and hit the uh smash that like button, so subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a video, because the adpocalypse is taking all our subscriber ad dollars. Um, Thumbnail. I'm just bullshitting. I could have got through that. I was stuttering on purpose. I swear. So, I think next topic I want to talk about is just I don't know, maybe some unaired grievances about the world, or things, not to dwell on the negative, but I want to address things like perhaps a little bit more on the problematic side, the safe problematic side, like gambling and pornography, and perhaps um, we'll talk about those are probably the biggest two. I think the biggest two. Um, uh, what do you call it? Red flags, signs of the times. I mentioned these in my songs. I think these things are prevalent, like mainstay issues that are not the cause of the problems, but a like they've become the common cold of society. So I want to talk about that, and I want to go into a little bit more depth, if that made any sense. Like those are the sins, so to speak, that are here to stay, that have caused a sizable uh, change in the way that we operate. And I'll probably, maybe I'll dwell more on social media now that I have a little bit more, or maybe a little bit less structure. I think I'll keep going this way. I'll come up with some loose talking points, perhaps, and maybe a central theme. How's that? We'll have like themed episodes. What do I have, like 6 viewers on? Why did I check my watch? I have 6 viewers on the last one. Regardless, congrats if you happen to find this and you don't know me and you're listening. If you know me and you're listening, that's cool too. Whatever environment in which we know each other, don't use this against me. This is my direct call out to you. If you see me in public, use code word let's see, um, jack o' lantern. I think that's appropriate. Jack o' lantern. That's the secret phrase. If you say that word, and I happen to have my Bitcoin wallet on me, I'll give you 10 Bitcoin if you tell me jack-o'-lantern next time you see me in public to prove that you watched this all the way through. And with that, I'm going to bid you farewell. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever it is you may be. It is Sunday, March 1st, 10:13 p.m. Stay blessed, y'all.